What's good, everybody? Is when I come back at y'all another video. So this video is going to be all about opportunity. And so I titled this video, There Was Once a Time When. And the reason why I titled it that way is because I'm going to share with you guys a personal story for me and hopefully have you reflect on your own life so that you can seize on the opportunities that are presented, right? That are available to you. So there was once a time in my life when I was praying for an opportunity to fall in my lap. And this pivotal moment came in the early months of 2020, right? So of course, 2020, the pandemic happened. This was prior to all the shutdowns, because all the shutdowns happened, at least here in New York, towards the last week of March, right? So this, I believe, happened towards like January, February-ish, around January. And so this was nearing the 1 year mark at my job. And I remember being in the office and just looking around and telling myself, this can't be life. And the reason why I felt that way is because it was sort of a moment where I just like woke up, where it felt as though, even though I was, doing well for myself at the time, right? I told myself this can't be life because I still felt like I was so far from the dream life that I wanted. I felt, because deep down, right, I had big dreams, big goals, big aspirations, and I knew that I wanted to live a life that was free. I knew I wanted to be abundant in all areas of my life. I knew that at some point, I knew that I wanted it all because I believed that I deserved it all, because I was a good person, because I did things the right way, and I always operated with, the correct values, right? With respect, honesty, and integrity. And I believed that I deserved to have more, that I believed that I deserved to have it all. And when I was looking at my current position, I said, you know what? Like, this is so far from where it is that I believe I deserve to be, right? I envision myself having everything taken care of, right? All of my financial worries, all of those concerns, right? Having all that taken care of and being able to take care of everyone around me, right? And no longer have those issues. And I envision myself being so happy, being ecstatic to wake up, feeling my best, and doing work that I truly enjoyed, doing work that was meaningful, that moved the needle. I believed that I deserved that, right? And so in that moment, and this was a year after getting what I consider to be like my first actual job, right, out of school, I came to that realization and I said, I deserve more. I want to live my dream life. And my dream life is drastically different than where I'm at now, and drastically different than the majority of people that I've come across, right? I deserve to live an extraordinary life, a grand life. And so in that moment, I was also praying for an opportunity to fall on my lap, to allow me to do just that, right? I was praying for something to fall on my lap. And it's funny because the universe and life has mysterious ways of working itself out, right? Because shortly after the pandemic happened, right, we were still working. A lot of people were still working from home, right? I was one of those people. And I remember I was doing video shorts. I remember I was doing videos about a little under a minute, like around a minute or so. And these were really short videos, but they had powerful messages. And I would share those messages at the time on my Instagram. And I remember I posted only a handful of videos, and they got so much, literally overwhelmingly positive support from friends, colleagues, etc., of people who needed to hear the messages that I was sharing at the time. And funny enough, right, the barbershop that I went to in my neighborhood, right, my barber was following me on Instagram, and I seen that he liked it and like left an encouraging comment. So a little few days passed, right? Then I went to the barbershop to get a haircut. So then once I walk in the barbershop, I said what's up to my barber, and he tells me, he was like, was it you that put up that video on Instagram? I was like, yeah, I've been recording a couple videos here and there, posting it. And he told me, he was like, yeah, that video, like, keep going. Like, I needed to hear that video. Like, more people need to hear your message. And that moment stuck with me till this day, right? Oftentimes I reflect back to that moment and tell myself, because if you think about it, right, what am I doing right now? I'm posting videos for you guys, providing you guys with value, sharing important messages that really changed my life and improved my life for the better, right? And I'm sharing it with you guys now, of course, in more longer form content, right? Not just 1 minute videos. But basically what I'm doing now is what I was doing briefly back then. And I seen the overwhelming support and reaction from the people around me. And of course, my barber even telling me, keep going. You need to keep putting out those videos because people need to hear your message. The reason why I'm recording this video is because, just like me, right? There was likely once a time when you were praying for an opportunity to fall on your lap. And chances are it has. And chances are you've probably prayed for opportunities many times in your life for something to unfold for you. For many people, that prayer has happened many times. And for those same people, their prayers have been answered many times. The only problem, the only disconnect is for a lot of those people, they just try, right? They just give it a little try, a little attempt, right? Because they can see the opportunity and say, wow, this is a big idea. This is a great idea. Let me jump on this. And then they try for a day or a week or a month. And then when they don't hit the jackpot right away, they say it doesn't work. And so then they go back praying for another new opportunity to fall in their lap. And then another one does. And then it's the same cycle, right? Like the cycle of doom, right? To keep constantly trying something new. If you're constantly trying new things and nothing seems to be working, then it's no longer the opportunities themselves. It's you. It's a you problem, right? It's because you haven't decided to stick with one thing long enough until you win, right? That is the big difference. Sometimes you just need to find something that you enjoy, an opportunity, or hone in on your gift and hone in on it long enough until you win. That is the difference. Most people, they'll just go on until they don't feel like doing it anymore, and then they'll give up and then pray for something else. What you need to understand is if you keep giving up on these new opportunities that keep landing on your lap, then all that's going to happen is that you're going to go back to a position that you once were, right? Praying for an opportunity to fall in your lap, right? You're just going back to your original position. If something is important to you, if something is meaningful enough to you as far as an opportunity, you will pursue it. And the people who win in life are often the people who still pursue it and keep at it and continue going, even when they're not getting any attention. Even when no one is looking and no one is watching, they're still going, right? These are the athletes who practice in closed gyms from sun up to sundown, working on their craft to get better. These are the content creators who constantly, continuously pump out content, quality content, each and every day or as often as possible, even if they don't have any subscribers or don't have any views, right? The reason why someone would continue and persist is because they believe. Because belief is another word for persist, right? If you didn't believe, you wouldn't persist. Most people can have a perfectly good opportunity right in front of them, but because they don't strike gold right away, they just give up. What you need to remember about society, and you know this because you are guilty of it, we are all guilty of it. What you need to know and remember about society is that in society, we reward superstars. We want superstars. We want the experts. We want the best of the best. If you are going in for surgery, or you have a family member that's going in for surgery, would you prefer your family member to have surgery by a doctor it's his first time doing that surgery? Or would you rather have the family member get surgery done by a doctor who's been in that role for 20 years and has done over 500 successful surgeries? Which one are you choosing, right? It's a no-brainer. Everyone is going to go with the doctor who's done 500 surgeries, who's worked in that office or that, clinic, that facility, the hospital for over 20 years because they have experience behind them, right? These doctors have seen almost all there is to see and has been in almost any situation that there is to be in and have found a way to succeed, right? So you as a patient would trust a doctor who's done over 500 surgeries, right, and has been in their role for 20 years compared to a first-time doctor, right? Because you'll have concerns whether this person is even good enough or ready enough to do the surgery, even though, of course, that doctor is certified, right? But you would still have concerns because this is their first time. They would technically be a beginner when it comes to, doing the actual surgery on a regular human being, right? It's the same thing, right? We as people, the superstars in life are the ones that win. The best of the best are the ones that win. The experts are the ones that win. So if you're jumping from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity, how do you ever expect to gain experience? How do you ever expect to win? Right? Because chances are, if you're quitting the moment you experience an obstacle, you're likely quitting at the same point that everyone else has quit. So you're just going to get what everyone else is getting, right? If you're going to quit something, quit when you're at the mountaintop. Because once you've already reached the mountaintop, then you've seen all there is to see, right? You've received the benefits. You've got the fruits for your labor. So now you can make an informed decision if this no longer serves you and you want to let it go. But a lot of times when people quit halfway through, when they quit at the first bump in the road, the first obstacle, right? Oftentimes, that's someone making an irrational decision because something became hard, right? What you need to remember is when you face an obstacle or when you face adversity, that is actually a good thing because you now have the opportunity to reinvent yourself. You now have the opportunity to learn, right? To gain new experience and to also learn something new and potentially try something different, right? That's what it is. If you want to be great at anything, you want to be seen as an expert, you need to do something over and over for a long enough period. Because then once you become an expert, that's when you're most knowledgeable. That's when you're exceptional. And then you become hard to replace. You become irreplaceable, right? If you found something, an opportunity that you want to be great at, if you woke up each and every day trying to be just 1% better, at some point over time, compounding, right, will take over. At some point, you are going to be so great at what you do, there won't be anyone else that can compete with you. Even though competition itself doesn't actually exist, right? Because there's abundance, there's enough abundance for everyone. But in the eyes of other people, right, when they see competition will not exist because there is no one out there that can do what you do. There's no one. So, for me, there was once a time when I was praying for an opportunity. And then in those earlier years, right, when I made those small pieces of content, I received such overwhelming support. And it filled me up so much because I said, wow, I actually made a difference in the lives of other people. Now, at my job, of course, I was helping people, but it didn't feel as though I was actually moving the needle in the lives of other people. It just felt like work was being done just to get work done. But when I did the videos, it felt meaningful. It felt personal. It felt as though, man, someone can watch this video 1, 2, 3 years later, 5 years later, 10 years later, and still receive the same value. Someone on the other side of the world that I've never met before that I don't know could receive value from this video, right? And that was essentially a preview, back then, a preview to what my future had in store, right? Because now, we have daily uploads, posting content, but now, right, I'm fully committed to this because I understand the power of this information to have people really reflect on their own life and strive to be better, strive to be the best version of themselves so that they can begin living life on their own terms, that they can begin creating the lives that they want, that they can show up happy, smiling from ear to ear, knowing that life is good and everything will be taken care of, right? I do this video here because I want to remind you, likely how it was the case for me, where I was praying for an opportunity to land in my lap, that has likely happened for you, that you've been eager, praying for an opportunity to land on your lap. And chances are it has. Now, I'm asking you this question, right? Are you going to capitalize on it or not? Are you going to be committed to it or not? Because just how in society we value the superstars, right? If you're going out to eat at a restaurant or a celebratory meal, right, say it's your birthday, you are likely going to look for a restaurant that looks like they have the best food, right? And can provide you with the best experience for the price point that you are comfortable with, right? If you can eat at five-star fine dining for $100, or eat at a one-star restaurant for the same price at $100, everyone is gonna choose the five-star fine dining restaurant for $100, right? If the price points are the same, which one are you choosing? Of course, you're choosing the better one, the better reviewed restaurant, the better experience, everything. Why? Because you're always looking for the best. So when opportunities fall in your lap, you need to decide on one and make your mind up that you are going to be the best, and believe even before it all happens that you are the best, because success requires delusional belief in yourself. If you really want to be the absolute best and take life as far as you can, you need to have delusional belief in yourself and your capabilities. Because I'm telling you, at the very beginning, people are going to question you. People are going to say, oh, this person is crazy. Oh, this can't be done. Oh, this or that, right? They are going to say that. They are going to feel that way until you do it and until it gets done. And then when it gets done, then everyone is going to call you a genius, right? That you were onto something, that you were ahead of your time, because now they're finally able to see the vision that you've had in your mind this entire time. So I say this all to say, chances are there has been an opportunity that fell on your lap. If it has, capitalize on it and just lock in and focus on it and be the best that you can be, and appreciate all obstacles and adversity that goes your way, because that just gives you an opportunity to better yourself and reinvent yourself. It's still a good thing. Obstacles and adversity is still a good thing, right? Because it also gives you more experience. So then once you get over that hump, you now know what to expect. You're no longer going to be nervous, right? You have so much greatness and potential that is within you. Most people are afraid to tap into it because they don't know the person that they'll become if they were to do that, right? And I'm here to tell you that you will become your best self if you decide to do that, right? Because you deserve it for yourself, and you deserve it to showcase it to the world. Because as you bring out the best version of yourself, you give other people permission to do the same. And that is what life is all about. Life is about bringing out the best version of yourself, being happy, and also helping, and also rolling out the red carpet for other people to do the same for themselves, for their own lives. I want to see the best in everyone. Just as eager as I was to see the best in myself, and I show up each and every day to deliver the best of myself to you, I want you to do the same for yourself, for everyone around you, because there's so much that you can provide to this world. There's so much that this world has yet to see, and you can be the one to move the needle and really change the world in whatever endeavor you decide to pursue. So just remember, there was once a time when I was begging and praying for an opportunity to fall on my lap, and it did, and I'm taking advantage of it each and every day, each and every moment. As I continue pumping out content, I'm continuing to provide more value to people all around the world. There was likely once a time when you were praying for an opportunity, and likely that opportunity has fell on your lap. Are you going to capitalize on it? Only you know the answer to that, but I'm here to tell you that you should, and I want you to be the best. I want you to raise the bar as high as you can. I want you to commit to becoming the expert, to becoming that industry leader, right? Because you deserve it. You deserve to hone in and lock in and be the best. And remember, in this lifetime, society rewards the experts. Society rewards the superstars. So if you're able to be a superstar in the industry that you decide to choose, that you decide to settle on and choose, then everything around you will soon be taken care of. So that wraps up the video. Enjoy the video. Do leave a like and subscribe, as we are at 1 million subscribers. Not on the road. We are at 1 million subscribers. So I'm going to show up like we're at 1 million subscribers, right? So once again, it's Joel, and I'm out. I'll see you guys for the next video.